Hello there and welcome to the preview for the Merseyside derby. Liverpool coming up against Everton in two teams fighting for completely different things as it stands right now. Obviously, we know Everton will be battling against relegation, and funnily enough, depending on how results go tomorrow for Burnley versus Wolverhampton Wanderers, Everton could actually find themselves in the relegation zone by the time they actually play Liverpool. Now, obviously, it doesn't really mean a great deal because it will mean that Burnley have actually played two more games than Everton at that point. But it shows you where Everton are right now at this moment in time, that they're not in a good moment. They're not, they're not doing very well at all. And like, a part of me enjoys it, a part of me also doesn't. Like, it's just one of them. Just because it's Everton, would I like to see them get relegated? You know what? There's a little bit of me that always says, yeah, maybe, maybe I would. But also, I don't know whether I would want to, because you don't know whether a club like Everton, even though there are rivals, you don't know with a club like Everton, if they go down, would they come back up or would they struggle and maybe become like another Leeds and stuff like that, where they struggle for years and years and years, maybe with the potential of not coming back at all. On the flip side of that, you got us, Liverpool, that we're fighting at the top of the table, and we know already coming into this game we can't go top because Manchester City have already played. They've actually beaten Watford 5-1 with a Gabriel Jesus hat-trick plus one goal. He scored 4 goals in that game as well. I didn't get to watch the game, it being a 3 o'clock kickoff. It's not on TV. And also I didn't get the opportunity because I was out, and I wanted to watch. I knew in my mind, I was like, I really would like to watch Man United get beat, but I knew I wasn't going to be in. Turns out Man United went and got beat anyway. So I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it? And now we just have to go out there and do the business ourselves. Now, some people might look at it and be like, look, come on, Everton, they're 17th in the league. Why would you be worried about coming up against Everton? Because it's different when it's a derby. Doesn't matter if they're. It doesn't matter. Wouldn't matter if one of us was in League One and the other one was in the Premier League. It's a derby at the end of the day, and anything can happen, and anything could happen. I would love to just firm-handedly believe that we're going to go out there, we're going to score a couple of goals, and then we can take our foot off the gas and then prepare, and get, take people off, and get ready for Villarreal on Tuesday. I think it is Tuesday or Wednesday. Wednesday. Come against Villarreal then and make some changes, rest some players, whatever. And I do think that this could be a game where we actually see some rotation ahead of playing Villarreal, purely because of, I don't think Klopp will take Everton for granted. I really don't think he will. But I think he'll also see it as an opportunity to make some clever rotation choices. And I would agree with it. I'm thinking in my mind as I'm talking now how I would put together our starting lineup. And there's not going to be too many changes. But could this also be an opportunity to where could we potentially, go out there and rest a Virgil van Dijk? Because before he got injured for Liverpool, he was probably, I think he was our most consistent starter, maybe alongside Salah, but I'm not entirely sure. Like, Virgil van Dijk is a cornerstone of a Liverpool lineup. He just is. He's like Alisson. He's like Fabinho for me. Like some of the front line as well. But Virgil van Dijk is the guy that you always look to. It's like, right, I can choose the other 10 players, maybe even like 8 or 7 or 8, whatever, but he's definitely one of them. The guy never gets a rest, doesn't seem to want one, but do we risk it? In my opinion, I wouldn't. That's just my opinion. I would be going with Virgil van Dijk, but I would be making some changes in some other areas. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Who would you change in this lineup if you were going to do some rotation? Because I do think there will be some, and I do think there needs to be some as well. I'm going to run through it now. I'm going to say it's Alisson in goal. I want to put Tsimikas at left back. And then we've got Virgil van Dijk. Then you can choose between, Matip, Konate, and I think also Joe Gomez. I wouldn't mind seeing Joe Gomez come into this team if we're going to make some changes there. Otherwise, any of the other options are really, really good. And if he does go with a change of having Virgil van Dijk not there, I still say no problem, because then you can choose between Joe Gomez. Is it Matip? Or is it going to be Ibrahima Konate? or Ibu, as they call him. Any of those options are good for us. Other options could also be having Virgil van Dijk, Matip, or Konate, and then you rest Trent, perhaps, and you have Joe Gomez at right back. That's another option. We've seen it happen, and it's actually worked out pretty well for us. In terms of what I would think that we're going to do, I'm going to go with Joe Gomez at right back, and it'll be Konate. No, I think it's going to be Matip and Van Dijk, because Konate, I think, will end up playing against Villarreal. Just my opinion, but we'll see. We'll see what happens there anyway. Midfield wise, I think the only player that we're missing from injury is Firmino at the moment. So I mean, that's no, it's a big loss in terms of someone from the bench or from the starting lineup or whatever. But having everybody else fit sounds all right to me. I think we will have a bit of a change in here, and I think it could be Fabinho might get rested for this game, maybe on the bench. So I think we could end up going with a Naby Keita, Jordan Henderson, and Curtis Jones midfield. And some people will hear that and be like, whoa, 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 whoa. We fielded a similar lineup not so long ago. It's a little bit ago now. The first time we played Man United, it was a similar lineup to that, except I think we actually had Naby Keita, Henderson, and Milner. I think it could work, and then if it isn't working, then you can bring Fabinho on. I think it could work. When I'm looking at the predicted lineup for Everton and their midfield, and it says it could be Alan, Fabian Delph, and Alex Iwobi, I look at that and think we could also have the mobile players that would come up against their players, but of a better quality, likes of Naby Keita, likes of Curtis Jones, Jordan Henderson running things from the middle, or you do go with James Milner, because again, he's still quality at the age of 36, and you can change things up later on in the game. Options, good options to have. And then in the front line, could be where things get interesting. I think you will see Salah start because the guy doesn't rest. If he's not injured, he does not take rest. So he's probably going to be on the starting lineup. I don't know whether you're going to see the likes of Divock Origi or Minamino or anything like that. So it could still be having likes of Salah, maybe Jota and Diaz, and saving Mane for the Champions League. Like give him a really good, obviously have him on the bench, but give him a good rest and stuff like that before the Champions League. Or you could have some full rotation, or you could go full strength, which our full strength one right now, I would say, is Salah, Mane through the middle, and Diaz on the left-hand side. But Jota is like right there. So there's so many options that Liverpool can go with for this game, which is really beautiful for us. It is absolutely incredible to be in this position where we can have so many options to come up against a struggling Everton team. Everton are going to want to be physical against us. Obviously, we're going to have that. I think he's a pain in the arse. And I think a few other people do as well, in Richarlison. For some reason, he just gets a bee in his bonnet every single game, not just against Liverpool, but he gets something up his arse, basically. He does. He gets something right up there, and he takes the ump and he wants to get physical and start sliding in on tackles and stuff like that. Now, he comes out and he doesn't like Liverpool whatsoever. Fine, that's all right, I don't care. As long as people that play for Liverpool and are fans of Liverpool like Liverpool, then that's fair enough. If you play for Everton, whoever you play for, and you don't like Liverpool, could not give a shit. But I just hope that they don't end up going in like far too physical and stuff like that, because that's something that Richarlison does like to do. He likes to get a foot in. And obviously with the players that we do have, like if you have someone like a Thiago playing, who is very good physically as well, but you don't want to risk having people getting injured. All I hope for in some way is that, I mean, Richarlison by some, like I was going to say I hope that Richarlison doesn't play. Most likely is that he will, because it looks like Calvert-Lewin's out, Andros Townsend's out, and some lad called Nathan Patterson's out as well. I don't know whether they've got many options in the front lines anyway. Anthony Gordon is someone to look out for. Young lad, likes to hit the deck though. Seems to be learning his trade more from Neymar than anything else. Loves hitting the floor and acting like he's been shot. Damari Gray is he's a dangerous player as well. I think, do these guys have, what was his name? Oh, I think he came from RB Leipzig or something like that. I can't remember his name. Young lad, fast. His name has gone. His name has escaped me. But again, they've got some quick players up front. They've just not necessarily got the quality that they need maybe to get a good result from this game. But don't put it beyond the realms of possibility as well that sometimes Liverpool have been sitting things on the back foot a little bit, and that we can invite pressure as well. You know, there were even like, I know it was like once or something, even against Manchester United, Rashford over the top, ball over the top. Um, and almost, if he had a better touch, maybe he could have got a goal or something like that. You just don't know. There are risks, but the risks are mainly come from ourselves, if you know what I mean. So the risks aren't necessarily what is put on us by the opposition. It's more about how we actually set up. So the high line that is obviously talked about a lot, you know, especially like against Benfica, where it got really exposed by like Darwin Núñez and the guy called Everton, who plays for them as well. You know, there were times when we did really get caught out on it, and whether people learn it or not, or whether someone like, you know, players that play for Everton can figure that out and get in behind us, yeah, they can make it difficult for us. But I'm expecting us to go out there with whatever lineup that we decide to put together, and I'm expecting a win. I'm expecting a 2-0 win of some sort, realizing that it could get physical, could get really dicey, and it could also get us under pressure a little bit as well. I don't think that we should be conceding to Everton, but I also think that they could cause us problems. I wouldn't be surprised entirely if they did score against us as well, but I still think that we'll go out there and win the game. And I think it'll be a 2-0 victory for Liverpool. And then we move on to Champions League after that. And then I think, let me have a look. At the weekend, it is Newcastle for us. It's a 12:30 kickoff after Wednesday. Jesus Christ, that's not a good turnaround time, is it? But even so, games are coming thick and fast as the season starts to come to an end at the moment. You know, and things are starting to shape up a lot more, especially things in terms of like the top four race and stuff like that. So as we haven't played equal amounts of games yet, Manchester City currently sit on 80 points, 33 played. We're on 76, we played 32. We were also the first team to secure Champions League qualification for next season. City were second to us on that one. Not that that really means anything. Arsenal have found themselves into the top four with Tottenham yet to play. They're actually kicking off in a minute against Brentford. But yeah, Arsenal beat Manchester United 3-1 quite comprehensively. United look in massive danger of being into the Europa Conference League, which we'll review it at the end of the season before I say anything more, because I'll have a lot to say on it. Anyway, but things are starting to shape up a massive amount. I haven't mentioned Chelsea. They still fear that they could drop out of the top four because they're on 62 points. Arsenal now on 60. Tottenham on 58. It's very, very tight. It is what it is. And I think Tottenham are on 58 because it's done like a live update of like as they're playing. It's still drawing, so I think they're realistically still on 57 at the moment. But like it's going to take some, and also Chelsea have 2 games in hand. It's going to take quite something for Chelsea to mess up being in top four. But I got on a little bit of a tangent here because I sometimes do that anyway. Regardless of anything, I'm not really bothered what anybody else does in the league. I'm more concerned about, like, you know, am I bothered about Man City going out and smashing Watford 5-1? No, because it's expected. It just is. It's not like the year when we won the title and Watford beat us 3-0 because we literally didn't turn up to that game whatsoever. We were not good in that game. Manchester City know that they've got a job on their hands to keep us out of their, you know, they want to stay in that first position. And whoever Man City have got left, we can't rely on that. We should be doing our own jobs, and we had our own opportunity to beat Man City as well recently, and we didn't do it. So really, if this season ends up as we're not titleless, and as we are, if we don't win the Premier League, it's on us. It's not on anybody else. So we've just got to focus on ourselves, do what we can in all competitions. We've still got obviously the final of the FA Cup to play against Chelsea. We've got the semi-finals to play against Villarreal, big important games as well against a tough opponent. the very same as what Everton will be on Sunday. A very tough opponent that I don't think it will be a walk in the park. I'd like it to be. I'd love it to be a case of like, come half time, we're 4-0 up or something like that. I would absolutely love that. I'm not expecting that though. I think it'll be 2-0 as a good result for Liverpool, and then we can move on hopefully from there. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below about this video and about Liverpool versus Everton, or everything in between. The top four, race, relegation. How do you think it's all going to end at the end of the season? But more importantly for me, how do you think this game tomorrow against Everton, how do you think it's going to end? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do feel free to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you once again. Do take care, and I'll catch you later.